Hello everyone, it's Luphisra here, back to play more of the Raven Remastered. And so I laughed at your comment, Herma. That is a bigger target. You know what? He's a bigger target in general. I can't even deny that.
An evacuation plan? And some tips from the doctor for avoiding seasickness, sunburn, and the like. And here, a schedule of activities. A drink with the captain, a shuffleboard competition on the forecastle. That's about it. A real barrel of fun.
That sounds very boring, actually.
A model of the Lydia before it was rebuilt. It used to be a freighter. The white hallway.
Really though, have any of you guys been on a cruise?
Added later.
What do you actually do on the cruise?
A pitiful attempt to make the interior of the ship seem less dreary. A bit of paint on the walls would have helped more, especially since a plant won't survive long without daylight.
Not gonna lie, this game feels like a step up from the Secret Files. It's got that B+ movie feel, but at a higher quality. Yeah. I mean, maybe I think in part because this is inspired by Agatha Christie, so I feel like they took elements from that and did a wonderful job at making a game, honestly. So this is the medical center. This is Legrand's area. Are you there, Legrand? Hello, my friend?
That is Legrand's cabin.
Come in.
It's me. Are you okay? Damn, your room is a fucking mess.
Are you ready?
Good morning, Inspector Legrand. My head is pounding, but I think I'm okay.
Chloral hydrate.
Hmm?
That's why you have a headache.
That's some laboratory.
I found traces of it in your
Or
champagne.
laboratory.
What have you found out so far?
The Baroness was shot in the chest at close range. We heard the shot. The murderer quickly fled the cabin and dropped the murder weapon over the railing later. A simple story so far.
But why was her cabin door locked?
Exactly. If the murderer wanted to make it seem like a suicide, he'd have shot her in the head and left the gun at the crime scene.
And if it was murder, why did he go to all the trouble of locking the door from inside? And how did he manage that anyway?
People say it's like hotel that travel to places. That feels boring. I mean, you're on a ship, right?
Anyone near the cabin.
Is there access to Wi-Fi?
Makes sense here.
No, it doesn't, and it's driving me crazy.
I feel like for me, traveling though, I want to go places. You know, see like museums, you know, historical sites and the like. Eat good food. Like, why would you go on a cruise when you're trapped on sea for hours or days on end? Like, I mean, sure, there's Wi-Fi so you can access social media and all that, games, but unless it's like a Disney cruise where there are like game nights or quizzes or whatever, then you enjoy that. Isn't it kind of boring to be just trapped on the ship the entire time? I do know that you get docked so you can like go out and explore, but I feel like I will die, man. I have a little bit of claustrophobia, so I don't think I can stay on a ship for too long. And then there's my motion sickness that will kill me.
Did you find the murder weapon?
On the gangway,
Probably not something I would enjoy,
I suspect the murderer
but
tried to
there are people who enjoy it.
He would have stood close to the railing to let it fall unseen.
And since he doesn't know the ship, he had bad luck and dropped
Not for everyone, for sure. Yeah.
the gangway.
Because one of my like friends online, she loves cruises, as I mentioned earlier. She goes on cruises all the time. She vlogs it, and they really enjoy it, you know. She and her husband really enjoy going on the trips, you know, and it seems fun for them, but I can just imagine it will be tiring for me. Because for me, if I'm on a ship and like trapped in my room the whole time because I can't really go much places to have fun, I'd much rather be at home, in the comforts of my own bed, not have to worry about the rocking sea and
What kind of a gun is it?
A pistol
getting nauseous because of it.
Antique.
manufactured 1,000,000 times during and after the First World War. Austrian model. The owner is David Kreutzer, the violinist. We found him tonight totally drunk on the bow of the ship. He confirmed that it's his gun, but he claims that it was stolen from him.
Fingerprints?
Nothing. But it's worth mentioning that the clip was missing 2 bullets.
And it's definitely the murder weapon.
The ballistic tests are incomplete. Actually, I've been waiting far too long for the bullet recovered from the corpse. Pay the good doctor a visit, Zellner, and see that he does his job.
Yeah, nothing's better than your own bed for sure. Also, I didn't manage to get the purse back from the violinist for the Baroness, so I feel bad now.
Do you believe the violinist?
I feel bad now.
Person I question. He claims he can't remember any.
Is that an optional storyline from the
He
game?
was on the train.
Or
and
did I just completely miss that part of the game?
drunkenness could be a smokescreen.
He fits the profile. He travels a lot, has access to high society. Could be interesting.
And this chloral hydrate?
Is a tranquilizer. Can be dissolved in alcohol. The effect begins in minutes and lasts for hours. Who gave you the glass of champagne?
I believe it was Captain de Conti.
If believing were enough for us, we'd have become priests, Constable. Be a policeman and find out for sure.
Understood.
Dude, weren't you standing there watching as the captain handed me the champagne? Were you fucking blind?
You think that the jewel thief is the murderer?
Our friend would have needed another key to open the safe and steal the second eye, the one the Baroness was carrying. At least, that's what we implied.
What do you mean?
The Baroness was famous for her forgetfulness. I convinced her to give me the third key. It seemed safer for the eye.
The thief searches the Baroness's cabin looking for the third key,
She returns from the saloon earlier than expected.
surprises him, and he can't allow her to identify him.
He imprisons her until the coast is clear, and then shoots her.
And thus, the thief becomes a murderer.
But still doesn't have all the keys.
Are you sure that there's no bomb inside this time?
Professor Lucien locked it in front of an audience, and it will be opened for the first time in Cairo.
Let's hope so.
It would take hours to crack it, and you'd need heavy machinery.
Or the keys.
Or the 3 keys, that's right.
Do you really think that the Raven is behind all this?
He wrote the letter that was on the safe in the train. Without the letter, we wouldn't have opened the safe, and the bomb wouldn't have exploded.
But it doesn't seem like him, does it? The Raven was famous in part because he never hurt anyone, much less killed anyone, during a burglary.
It's his handwriting, and he called me Nico. No one else does that. I chased that man across Europe for years.
This guy's obsessed with the Raven, I swear.
Be him.
But the evidence...
Enough.
I'll be on my way. I want to find out who gave me the drugged champagne.
Good idea. And get the bullet from Dr. Gebhardt.
Of course. Inspector Legrand, are you okay? Maybe you should take a break.
I can sleep once I've caught the Raven. Goodbye, Constable.
Be seeing you.
So if you don't catch the Raven, you will never get sleep. The key's with you. I mean, you should be well rested and
Legrand is risking
Keep-
not just his
keep the
career,
key
but his
safe
health as
and,
well,
yeah,
his
your
hunt
health
for the
too.
Raven. He's working like a demon. Maybe that's why he caught the Raven and no one else.
Yeah, fair point, probably. This is a workaholic, that's why.
Come in.
Hello, Dr. Gebhardt.
And there's the next one.
Excuse me?
You want something else from me, don't you?
I'm afraid I do.
What a first day at work. Well,
What's the result of your examination of the victim?
she's dead.
I didn't make you work all night long, Dr. Gebhardt.
She was shot. Point blank shot. Probably
Oh, I feel bad for the
she
Baroness.
was lying in bed. The shot struck her heart. She died immediately.
One shot?
More were unnecessary. And we only heard one shot, no?
And there's just one entrance wound.
Just one.
I am told that I was drugged.
That's how it seems.
What can you tell me about it?
Me? Why should that be my business?
Haven't you analyzed the glass?
No, I haven't. The inspector said he's the better chemist. I let him do it. That way I could at least concentrate on the body.
Okay.
Do you think the Baroness might have been drugged? She was very tired and unsteady when Legrand and I saw her.
I imagine she's drugged.
About that. I must have just
I mean,
missed the saloon.
the person drugged Zellner.
Seen her myself.
So I'm thinking that she drugged,
Can you
I mean, they drugged the Baroness too.
health?
She was quite overweight, and the butler said that she suffered from diabetes. Despite that, she hadn't visited a doctor for several years.
Doesn't sound good.
Happens more frequently than you might suppose. Some people are scared of doctors and pay with an early death. It is
But not like that.
Baroness wouldn't have
Not like this kind of death.
Do you know whose glass I drank from?
What do you mean?
Captain de Conti handed me a glass of champagne. But where did he get it?
I don't know. Did you ask him?
I'm just asking because you were also in the saloon when the champagne was served.
Yes, but I only entered the saloon a few seconds before you did. I didn't manage to get a drink myself.
Which, in retrospect, is lucky.
Ah, you're right about that.
Have you already removed the bullet?
Did Legrand send you? What is that Frenchman's problem? I already told you. I will get in touch as soon as I have it. That is also what I told the constable, who he kept sending all night long, once I finally got rid of Legrand himself.
Did he look over your shoulder?
He probably wanted to take the scalpel from my hand and hack away himself. But this is my surgery, and I will not let amateurs interfere with my work.
That's understandable.
Well, do it faster.
How much longer will it take?
I have just finished. Send my regards to His Majesty.
I'll do
I
that.
think that's it for now.
No. That is it for now, then, and later. I'm going to lie down for a few hours. Can you tell that to your boss?
But
Yeah, the
have the key.
Absolutely not.
But if we have to examine the victim again,
Then the esteemed inspector knows where to find me. In my cabin. In bed. Good night, Constable Zellner.
well, damn, okay, whatever. Yeah, the graphics there had a little like glitch, but that's okay. This game's a couple years old.
Come in. Constable?
Got the bullet for you.
about the bullet, here it is.
Excellent. Give it to me. As I suspected, a 7.65 Parabellum Luger.
No idea what he said.
Don't you want to examine it in more detail?
When I have time. For now, though, we can assume that we had the murder weapon. There can't be too many antique Luger 08 pistols on board.
May I take a look at the Baroness's cabin?
We already searched it thoroughly.
Sure. But what about now, by daylight?
Yes, fine, it can't hurt. Here, take this with you.
Thanks. I'll let you know if I find anything important.
But only then, please. I'm very busy.
Of course. About the tranquilizer.
Do you know how you wound up with the glass?
Not yet.
Then you should stop wasting my time and get back to work.
Fine.
Cover more clues.
Very well.
Stay in your freaking cabin while I do all the legwork. The Baroness was right. I'm the one that's doing all the work here.
I'm not paying for this trip, and that's a fair price for my cabin. It's rather plain, shall we say.
Well, at least you're on the ship.
An alarm like this one was set off yesterday. This one hasn't been set off. The security seal is intact.
Okay, let's go investigate the Baroness's room first.
This is the first murder scene I've ever set foot in. There's still blood on the mattress. The sheet and the blanket have already been removed. To analyze them, I suppose.
He looks like he has white hair.
Nothing. The blood spot is the only sign that someone committed a crime in here. Somehow... That's odd. The blood is so red. Shouldn't it gradually darken in the air? Turn brown?
That's actually true. Blood does darken and turn brown when it meets oxygen.
The unusual color of the blood could be something that Legrand and Dr. Gebhardt missed last night. All cats are gray in the dark, as the saying goes. I should take a sample.
I should take a sample. No, not that. I need to find something to take a sample. Okay. Let me look around the room first.
A tape recorder. Must go with the built-in speakers. Probably part of the cabin's furnishings. The tape recorder is older than the hills, but it was once very expensive. Top of the range. And it doesn't come cheap. Strange. There's only one reel. And it's the wrong one. No. No sign of the original reel. A big, ugly, and impractical vase. If it had a wider opening, one could at least use it as an umbrella stand.
Can you top it over?
Can't see anything. Wow. Heavier than it looks.
Paper?
Aha!
No feathers.
Nothing special. Although, it seems like one of the feathers was scorched at the top. Literally burnt. I'd better take it with me. Apparently, the Baroness didn't have time to unpack her bags. Or rather, didn't have time to tell her butler to unpack them for her.
Where is the butler?
Sifting through all that would take ages. But here, the Baroness's handbag. Ha-ha! A small leather-bound book. 1964 is engraved on it. This must be the Baroness's diary.
Can I look at the diary?
Let's see. Yes, it's a diary, all right.
Can I read it?
Difficult to read. No entry from yesterday.
Probably too tired or too drugged up to write.
Sober description of what she's done recently. Met Morris. Arrange benefit concert for renovation of Louvre southeastern wing, times photo shoot for Eye of Sphinx. BM, poor excuse for photographer. Too fidgety. And so on. This entry looks strange. The handwriting is shaky, difficult to read. Dreamt of Bubby. Yesterday would have been his birthday. Next week, Jay's.
What does that mean? It's kind of suspicious.
Cosmetics, a handkerchief, a spectacles case. Nothing special. Something's under there. More feathers. And they're singed as well. I'll put them with the others.
That is very suspicious.
Sunflowers. By Van Gogh, I presume. He liked to paint that sort of thing. Can't be an original. They cost thousands of francs. A reel made by Zeibling. I know the brand. Zeibling's tapes can be overwritten many times without losing quality. They're used in offices so that...
I'm sorry, I'm very engrossed, so I'm not commenting.
The secretaries on the same tape over and over again. But they're not good for much else. They're robust, but they don't offer much in terms of sound quality.
Can I play this? Okay, is it possible to play it? I guess not. Okay, I'll get the desk here.
The notepad has the ship's emblem on it. I suppose all the first-class cabins have them.
Inspector, be at the salon at 10 p.m. There's a murderer.
Inspector, be in the saloon at 10 p.m. There is a murderer on board and I will expose him. B. The Baroness seems to have...
So she knew there was a murderer. That's why she got so scared.
The Raven can't be the murderer. He never...
And that's why the murderer wanted to kill her.
Never got the message. Otherwise...
Because she recognized the murderer. Probably the murderer had killed someone that she knew. Like, judging from her message in the diary, he said that it would have been his birthday. So I imagine it would be a son, a grandson. Someone she knew that she cared about that was killed by this murderer. She recognized the murderer, got freaked out, but didn't want to make a scene, but wanted to tell the inspector at 10. But before she could, she got drugged. I think that's what happened.
The most unportable portmanteau I've ever seen. A portable bar is more like it. Must be hard work transporting this big, heavy thing halfway around the globe. And the Baroness was lucky that the other freight cars were only lightly damaged by the explosion. An impressive piece, but I don't think it'll get me anywhere with the murder investigations.
Okay, nothing else?
Another alarm. It was tripped at some point. The seal is broken. But there's no way of telling whether it happened yesterday or 5 years ago. The mannequin surely came with the cabin. A mannequin for the Baroness's clothes would have a more generous figure.
That's one way of putting it. Okay, I need to grab something to cut a piece of this spot. But I don't have anything yet, so I'll have to come back to it later. I guess that's it for the cabin for now. Let's go outside. The butler. Where were you?
The Baroness's butler looks like he didn't get much sleep. I would describe his facial expression as worried. Hello, Mr. Inch.
Oh, Constable, hello.
You look the worse for wear. It must be terrible for you.
Quite terrible. No one will hire me now.
Excuse me?
My mistress was murdered.
Really?
Would you,
Sir?
a butler who's been
That's what you were worried about?
But if it turns out...
Oh my god. I
guilty,
swear.
But what if not? Who else would they blame? There are no gardeners on this ship.
I understand your problem. Under these circumstances, I'm sure you'd answer some questions that could help clear your name, wouldn't you?
Of course.
Did you notice anything suspicious last night?
No, sir. After the Baroness went to the saloon, I went to the forecastle. I was there until the alarm
Forecastle.
went off. I went to the side.
I didn't know that was pronounced like that. I swear.
Professor Lucian and Miss Miller. We found you and...
In my head, I still pronounce it like forecastle.
And the inspector asked us to take care of you.
Did you hear the gunshot?
No, just the alarm, sir.
You said you were on the forecastle. It sounded like the Baroness let you have the rest of the night off.
Not entirely, sir. One of the crew informed me that the Baroness wanted to be roused at 10:15.
Right. Why was that?
I suppose that she wanted to toast the success of the journey with the captain and the other passengers.
She hadn't intended to take a nap then.
That was not her way, sir. She had a lot of spirit, shall we say, when it came to social engagements and a glass or two of champagne.
The Baroness...
So she likes to drink a lot, is what he's saying.
Indeed, sir, by the Baroness herself.
Really?
She was searching for something the entire afternoon.
And did she find it?
I think she did, sir, yes. She was in high spirits when she finally left her cabin.
You wouldn't happen to know what she was looking for, would you?
I'm afraid not.
Would you describe the Baroness as orderly?
Well, she always had a lot of responsibilities, sir.
That doesn't answer my question.
She used to take a lot of luggage on journeys, and I helped her keep track of it as best I could. She was always very angry when she couldn't find something.
What about the photos and the documents I saw in her cabin?
Wait, there were photos and documents? I didn't see anything.
To me, sir. Memories from the war, I'd say. They meant a lot to her.
The Baroness seemed to be pretty drunk the last time I saw her.
Is that so?
Does that surprise you? Did the Baroness not drink?
Oh, yes, she drank. It was no secret.
I understand. How serious was her habit?
Serious enough, sir.
Was she under any medical supervision?
Certainly not, sir. She adamantly refused to see a doctor. Like so many elderly women, she had a distinct aversion to hospital.
Why? Is it like doctors were scary back in the day or what?
For the Baroness?
6 months.
Although that being said,
I always thought
I read up
stayed with her employees
about
for
some of the
decades.
treatments that they had back in the day. I am glad to be born in the 21st century. Let me just say that.
Butler wasn't able to fulfill his duties any longer. Gout, sir.
I understand.
I took on his duties and hoped for a secure position for the next 20 years.
And unfortunately, yeah,
Ask what happened.
that
to
didn't
your
happen.
mom.
A souvenir from the war, sir.
Doesn't it hinder your work?
Yes, sir. Obviously.
I didn't mean to offend you.
The Baroness had a soft spot for disabled veterans. I think she'd been through a lot herself.
I think that's all for now.
Please, sir, find the murderer. You have to clear me of all suspicion.
Okay, I will try.
Antique wooden globe. If Galileo hadn't asserted himself back then, this would be a flat disk now. The globe nicely shows that 4/5 of the Earth's surface is covered by water. Looking out the window, I'd call that an understatement.
That is a lot of water. Okay, let's go to this area. Is there any food I could take? No, I cannot eat any food. I am upset.
Captain DeConti is sitting at the bar again. He gave me the glass of champagne last night. Hello, Captain DeConti.
Hey, Constable Zellner. You're back on your feet again. Glad to see it.
What was your experience of last night?
Oh, terrible. Dinner was fantastic. Everyone was excited about having a pleasant drink under the stars. And then this.
You were in the saloon all night long.
As the captain, I have to care for my passengers. After you and the others rushed out, I tried to maintain a festive atmosphere. But when the alarm goes off, I lose the battle.
And then there was the murderer, of course.
Who was the Baroness?
She really surprised me. After she was so unapproachable at the reception and didn't show her face for the entire afternoon, I was afraid she was one of the bores and bourgeoisie. But then she arrived in the early evening in the best of moods.
I'm assuming it's because she was contemplating whether or not she's gonna say anything about the murderer.
She asked
Then she decided to do so
cabin was.
in the evening.
Her, then invited
So she was in a good mood for that or something like that.
I said it would be great fun. The whole ship will be there, and you don't want to miss that, I told her.
And then?
She seemed to like the idea. She smiled, and then left again for a few minutes.
I think that's when she decided to do so.
Seemed very happy.
So maybe she found something else.
Life.
But at some point she didn't feel well anymore?
She overdid it a bit. She suddenly started to swoon and almost spilled her drink. I asked her if she wanted to rest for a moment in her cabin. At first, she didn't want to. She definitely wanted to stay in the saloon. But then she realized that she really did need to lie down. We left together. You know the rest of the story.
Did everyone drink from the same bottle of champagne last night?
There was more than one bottle, if that's what you mean. There were quite a few guests, and the event lasted several hours.
The last bottle of champagne, the one the Baroness drank from, did anyone else drink from it?
Certainly.
We have reason to believe that the champagne was drugged.
Incredible. But wouldn't that have made everyone drowsy?
Not if it was only the Baroness's glass that was drugged.
I see. That's possible. On a night like that, many glasses are filled and emptied. There are several stewards, many guests. No one keeps track of every glass and every bottle.
A few drops in a glass?
Yes, it's certainly possible.
That's how, like, Zellner got drugged too, I guess.
The glass you handed me last night, where did you get it?
Ah, I understand. You think your glass was poisoned as well?
Did you pour it yourself?
No. I saw that you weren't doing so well and wanted to rescue the situation. I took the first available glass and I give it to you.
Was it on the table?
No, I hurry over to you, together with Dr. Gebhardt, who... Of course, he had the glass in his hand. He was looking around for a place to set it down, so that he could examine you.
Ooh, Dr. Gebhardt.
I'd like to apologize for that, but you look so worse for the wear, and I just wanted to comfort you. I didn't think of looking for a new glass for you.
So the doctor had
The doctor is very suspicious now. The doctor is very suspicious.
Is it possible to find out where the alarm was set off?
I'm afraid not. There are alarms all over the ship.
I saw that they're sealed. Can't we just check whether the seal is broken?
I'm afraid they're gonna be missing on a lot of alarms. You know, this is an old ship, and over the years...
So, you're saying that the alarms haven't been regularly maintained?
I'll inform the crew immediately, of course.
Of course. What can you tell me about the passengers?
Oh, not that much, I'm afraid. I wanted to get to know them properly.
And of course, there isn't really any reception.
Cases, I just shook hands.
Well then, we just have to investigate ourselves.
Regulars on board, and after dinner, I had a conversation with Mr. Kreutzer, a talented violinist, and Lady Westmacott. But you already know them from the train.
It seems like there aren't that many passengers on board.
These bloody airplanes are making our lives miserable. Can you imagine? Grown men prefer to jam themselves into a narrow metal coffins instead of enjoying the fresh sea air on a ship.
It's all about saving time.
It shouldn't be about how much time it takes to get from A to B.
I mean, technically, isn't the ship also made of metal?
What you experience...
Same kind of concept, right?
What it's about.
I'll get back to my investigations now.
Ciao, Constable.
Alrighty.
The alcoholic drinks and everything that goes with them is top-notch on this ship.
But I'm gonna stay away from the alcohol.
Fresh ice and tongs. They could be useful.
Grab the tongs.
Constable Zellner, what is the meaning of this? Are even the police light-fingered nowadays?
I need this tool for a criminal investigation.
Well then, why didn't you say so? But bring the tongs back when you're done. Otherwise, I'll have cold fingers all day.
Okay, I'll bring it back. Glad I can just listen and the story is still enjoyable. Yes! The voice acting, too, is top tier, so you can just listen and still enjoy the story. You won't really miss anything since there's so much talking. Which I know some people don't like
Wonderful.
when there's too much dialogue, but I like dialogue.
Off the Mediterranean Sea. It would be a...
It's Stobart all over again.
If not...
That's the charm of Broken Sword. It's the voice acting and listening to it and then just enjoying yourself.
What seems to be an early bird, but maybe that's just because of all the excitement. I saw a twinkle in her eye on the train. She's eager to be part of a real detective story. Lady Westmacott, already on your... Oh,
Constable, don't you think before you speak?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
No time for chit-chat. What have you found out?
We're still working on the case. Actually,
She's very excited.
You.
Please, go ahead.
She's so excited. She's so hyper.
What did you think of our adventure on the train? An extraordinary story, isn't it?
I'm glad that you were able to prove yourself, Mr. Zellner.
Hopefully not for the last time.
I'm glad that everything ended well. I want to thank you sincerely for taking care of Matthew. I can't bear to think about something happening.
Where is Matthew, actually?
The end.
Text and conversation still needs proper pacing and writing. If it's done poorly, then a VA can only do so much. That is true, but fortunately, this game did pretty well in that department, I think, with the conversation and everything. Because I admit, sometimes when you play a game, like, the conversation is very awkward. It's not that good. Like, the voice acting is great, but then the storyline is just not that great. You know, it's just not much logic in it. But this one is good.
Do you think
This one's pretty good.
the thief from the train and the murderer are the same person?
I think the new Raven is capable of anything.
Legrand believes there is no new Raven. He thinks that the old one has returned.
He said that.
Do you think it's possible? Everyone thinks he's dead.
As a dramatist, the return of the Raven would certainly be delightful. A legend comes back from the grave for one last job. It's quite romantic. At the same time, though, I'd be disappointed.
Why is that?
I followed the Raven's career closely. There weren't many burglars with such character and charm. His burglaries were clever and entertaining, but he was sloppy in London. He almost got caught, and I'll never forgive him for the affair on the train. No, I would much rather that the Raven stayed dead and had nothing to do with the burglary or the murder.
Yeah, I'd much rather the first original Raven just keep his legacy. You know, like, stay dead. Don't come back.
What do you think?
You know, you still be a legendary master thief, right?
Almost everyone.
The new Raven is just ruining things for the old one.
Physically
I swear.
capable of shooting someone, but who has the dark desire to take the life of a defenseless person?
One cannot read minds.
And one should not try. You have to collect evidence, traces, clues. That's what will lead us to the killer. It won't be like a...
No, I didn't notice that she's sitting on a wheelchair.
Introduce a new character shortly before...
Forgot about that part.
Surprise, surprise, is also the murderer.
Murderers leave evidence. They're nervous or unnaturally relaxed. They have to adjust constantly.
And because of that, they make mistakes. This is your chance, Constable. If you find the mistake, you'll find your murderer.
I found the mistake, the blood.
Have you noticed anything related to the
Or
murder?
rather, the blood spot. So fake blood.
In my cabin and missed all the commotion. damnable old age.
You're telling me.
Oh, you're still young. At my age, you have to expect that you won't experience much anymore. And although I've written about murder so many times, I've never actually witnessed one. How exciting.
I doubt everyone is so relaxed.
And so excited, too.
Heartless.
She is very excited at this situation.
Right, Constable? I certainly didn't want the Baroness to be murdered. But if I can't undo it, then I might as well enjoy it.
Well, that's one way to see things.
What do you
Glad you're still optimistic.
He seems to be as skilled as everyone says. Intelligent, focused. I had a chat with him yesterday, and he impressed me, but there's
But
haunted in his eyes.
I don't think he ever really stopped hunting the Raven.
Catching the Raven made him famous. What if he actually shot the wrong person? Unjustified fame bothers people, the good ones at least.
And you think he's one of the good ones?
Anyone who tries
I imagine he's one of the good ones.
to must be honorable or insane.
Or both.
I have to be going.
But she makes a fair point. Like,
Please keep me informed.
he got famous because he was supposed to be the one who captured the original Raven. Or at the very least, killed him and stopped him from doing what he did. But if he caught the wrong guy, or rather shot the wrong guy, then he'll feel like he doesn't deserve the fame and stuff.
I'd really like to lie in the sun and take a nap, but I don't have time for that at the moment. No, Jakob, business before pleasure.
Damn it. I've been enjoying myself on a freaking cruise. Or cruise.
These things made quite a racket last night. I couldn't hear myself think.
This place is blocked off. I can't walk here. Go to the side deck then. I don't... Okay, never mind. Never mind. Okay.
Curious. One can easily toss a gun into the sea from almost anywhere on the ship without being noticed. And yet, the murderer chose the one spot where it's not actually possible.
I wonder why.
It's hard to miss. Why did the murderer drop the gun on the gangway? They must have noticed their mistake, even if their back was to the sea. So, why didn't they take the gun and throw it a few meters farther into the sea?
I'm curious about that too, actually. I have no idea.
I suppose the life jackets are stowed there, close to the railing, close at hand in case of emergency. I hope I don't find myself needing a life jacket.
Oh, please. Please, we already had a train wreck. We don't need a shipwreck, okay? This one is harder to survive.
I wonder if this game is an advanced version of bocce. Maybe the inventor realized that it's difficult to play ball games on a boat and came up with an alternative.
I have no idea what bocce is. Nothing in this location, but Oliver sleeping there. And his water bottle. Can I grab his water bottle when he's sleeping?
Constable Oliver brought something to drink. You can tell it's not the first time he's had to guard something. Salty sea air in my old lungs, wind in my thinning hair. If I hadn't become a policeman, I could have been a sailor.
That's also a good option if you enjoy the sea.
The bottle should be full of water, unless the good constable happens to have a secret alcohol problem. No way to verify that. I can't get the bottle without him noticing. The stowaway surely didn't sleep well last night in the cargo hold, although his cell is probably more comfortable than my cabin, and more spacious.
Wait, how small is your cabin? Like, the cell is not that big.
I have
Although
the young fellow right away.
the
Even though he
cargo
was
is
around at the time of the shot.
pretty big.
He may have noticed something before. And what about the other gunshot? Could the second missing bullet from the murder weapon be stuck down there in one of the wooden crates? If I want to get into the cargo hold, I'll have to get rid of the constable first. He won't let me talk to our young friend. It may not seem like it, but Constable Oliver is actually a very effective watchman.
He's sleeping, though.
I have to talk to the young fellow right away, even though he was... And could this... If he won't...
Okay, I need to get rid of him somehow. I need to make him run to the bathroom. Make it so that he drink water and then he needs to go to the bathroom. Right. Okay, can I go upstairs?
We were here yesterday when we heard the shot, and it was also here where Legrand caught our stowaway. The grate must be part of the ship's ventilation system. Nothing out of the ordinary.
It's weird because one of them is
Couldn't be so
closed.
open.
I mean, one of them's not working.
Stowaway opened it and we caught him in the act. No. The pipe is too narrow. He wouldn't fit in there. I guess the cover has been defective for a while.
Well, damn it.
I couldn't, but if I start reporting all the problems on the ship, I'd have to shelve my murder investigation. The ship's bridge. 2 men. One of them navigating. I get the impression that the officers keep things running. It seems like the captain concentrates on the passengers and the bar. Why is there an axe hanging here?
Just in case you need it.
It's for chopping.
We needed an axe, you know, when there was a train wreck, right?
Use it to enforce who's allowed on the boat and who's not.
Either way, very effective, useful tool. Okay. Nothing else I can actually do at this location.
A boat like this would also make a good hideout for a stowaway. Were the tarpaulins arranged like that on purpose so that no one could put them back in order once they get in? You can tell at a glance that everything is ship-shape with this boat.
Well, then I guess nothing else here. Oh,
This
pipes.
isn't the panoramic deck for visitors. There are pipes, steel cables, chains up here. You can smell the smoke from the funnel. I have no idea how the ship works, and I really don't care, as long as it stays afloat.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't sink. Really don't care how it works. You just don't sink on me. Okay, so we went to almost all the places we could go to. Let's go inside. There is another room that I have not been to yet. No, not this side, that side. The other side, this side. I mean this side. Can I not go to the other room? Let me see. What would I need an axe? Game design. Don't worry about it. Yep, don't worry about it. Just, it's an axe. You know, it's just there for decoration purposes. But honestly, though, the axe was useful on the train. It might be useful on the ship.
Oliver can keep up with Legrand's pace, but in contrast to good old Robert, the doctor doesn't let himself get roped in for the long haul. I wonder what would happen if Legrand dragged him out of bed for another investigation. Dr. Gebhardt locked the door, and until I have good reason, I won't wake him up. Something tells me that he wouldn't be amused. We're lucky that the Lydia has a well-stocked medical center at its disposal. I suppose it was added during the war. A ship of this size wouldn't normally have a full medical center.
I mean, why not? Why would it not have a medical center?
There are little stones in the flower pot. Not only does the poor plant have to make do without sunlight, it doesn't have any soil either.
It's all just stones?
Really? What am I supposed to do with stones?
Just grab it. You never know.
Although, sooner or later.
Hey, you're a character in a point-and-click adventure game. You need the damn stones. Trust me. Okay, go.
No, I've slept enough.
I want to see if there's anything I can use in my room. Because I need that sample from the blood spot thing, but I'm unable to get it. I need to cut the... I need to cut the sheet up, I think. How do I get a sample otherwise?
The unusual color of the blood,
That doesn't work. That doesn't work either.
The Baroness was a very busy woman, and it looks like she had to cope with loss. She writes about Bubby and Jay. Neither seem to be alive anymore. Almost every family lost loved ones in the war. Maybe hers as well.
Could be the husband and son, and they went to fight in the war and just didn't make it back, I think. Possibly.
Why were the down feathers tossed in the vase? Or is there anything else in there? There may be something else in the vase, but the neck is too narrow to reach in with my hand. Could work. There's something in there. Someone stuffed this in the vase. Looks like it's been used to muffle a gunshot. If this isn't an important discovery, I don't know what is. Legrand, here I come.
I need a sample from this still, though.
The unusual color, What a discovery. This pillow was obviously used to muffle a shot. Legrand, here I come.
Okay, well, he wants to go to...
Damage when Dr. Gebhardt kicked it in. The real question is, why was the door locked in the first place?
Sorry for interrupting. We should go to Legrand.
Assuming the murderer isn't a magician, and the Baroness locked the door herself before she went to bed, the murderer couldn't have left the cabin through the door. So, the murderer must have still been in here when Dr. Gebhardt kicked the door in. Which is unlikely because someone would have seen him, or he found another way out of the cabin.
Stobart Miss Poirot. Well, Zellner, is made to look like David Suchet, you know, his likeness at least. And, well, Poirot, although he also talks a lot, actually. He makes a lot of comments, actually, which I will play that game after this one. Oh, so hello, Heartless Room. For a second, I thought you were Harma because your name's also in orange. Well, welcome to the stream. Did you come already earlier and I just didn't notice that it was you? Or did you just arrive? Played this before, it's been a hot minute. I played this, or rather I played the original version of this many years ago. On my old ass like laptop from like what? That was like 5, 6, 7 years ago, I think. Very old, couldn't handle the remastered. So I played the original. I kind of remember the main story, I think. Like, I technically do know who the culprit is. I don't remember the process on how to get there, though. That's the problem. That's the thing with me. I can always remember the major plot points, but I never remember the details. Like, how do I solve the puzzle? I never remember that. You know? I'm also glad you're here. Remember twist at the end, which I was not super happy. Yeah,
Case is proof that there might
it's kind
be
of
a second
good and bad, but we'll talk about it when we get there, right?
Inspector?
Not to spoil anything. And what's wrong with you? Are you taking drugs?
I didn't realize. I'm really...
I'm not getting anywhere. I'm going to question each passenger individually. Anyone without an airtight alibi will be checked for gunshot residue.
But, Inspector...
People trip up when you put pressure on them, Constable Zellner. The Raven is nervous. He's changed his methodology and become a murderer.
Wait, I want to talk to you about my discovery.
See it in his eyes. After you.
But, Inspector Legrand...
I want to talk to you about my discovery. Would you shut up and let me speak for once?
We have no proof that the Raven and the murderer are the same person.
You may not know it, but I do. I will catch him with or without your help.
You're becoming too obsessed with the Raven. I swear. Like, he is a stalker of the Raven now.
It makes no sense to tell him about...
He's like an obsessed fan or
It's
something.
already set. I need evidence. Or better yet...
The man's a dick.
I
He
also
is.
need his lab if I'm going to get anywhere.
He's not a bad guy, but
And
he is a
I
dick.
need to talk to the stowaway. He may have information, and the inspector will just ignore him, since he's too young to be the Raven.
Yeah, I will say the better policeman in this case is Zellner. I mean, come on, you're an inspector. Yeah, you're so set on the Raven and so obsessed with the Raven that you can't think of anyone else that's suspicious. Like, it just had to be the Raven. And here's the thing that it doesn't make sense, right? Even in real life, a criminal, even if it's a thief or like a serial killer, for example, they always have a pattern. And usually, from what I know from true crime, they don't change their pattern all that often. Like, the majority of criminals, not all of them, because I know some people are just random, but the majority of criminals, if they have a pattern to how they do things, like they have a set of rules that they give themselves, they don't really change how they work, like out of nowhere. Even if they come back after many years, they usually stick to that pattern of how they do things, like how they steal stuff or how to kill people. Why did they do that? You know, there's always like a reason, you know? Like, for example, you look at the famous serial killers, because there is a killer on board, right? Like in real life, look at the famous serial killers. You know, there's always a pattern as to how they pick their victims, why they choose to kill that person. Like similarly, if it's a thief, like the Raven, kind of like Arsène Lupin, right? There's always a set of rules that they give themselves. You know, they don't break their rules because there's a reason why they do those things in the first place.
The Sibling brand reel from the Baroness.
So I feel like the Inspector is
belongs to the player.
too obsessed with the Raven to see any other reason. You know, like he just can't accept the fact that maybe it's not the Raven. Maybe it's someone else. And I need to unlock the door.
The lock isn't especially secure. If I had a wire or something like that, I could probably pick it.
So I need a wire then. All right, let me go find a wire. Or a hairpin. Where's Mrs. Miller? And where's Matt? I haven't seen them on the ship.
The death of his mistress doesn't really bother Inch. He's only worried about his own future.
Yeah, I don't like Inch. He's suspicious.
Mr. Kreutzer, come on, you have to give me a bit more. You're the only one who was on the train and who has no alibi for last night.
As I said, I was in my cabin.
Are you sure that it was your cabin and not the Baroness's?
Legrand will question the guests one after another. But if he doesn't get the answers that he wants to hear, it could become unpleasant for them. Lady Westmacott, may I bother you for a moment?
By all means, Mr. Zellner.
How is the questioning going?
Are you implying that I'm an eavesdropper? The inspector is placing a lot of pressure on our dear Mr. Kreutzer. He's the only one who was on the train and who doesn't have an alibi for last night.
Perhaps. But him? A murderer?
I know people like him. He doesn't have enough backbone to kill someone in cold blood and remain so calm. He'd turn it into a drama and then a farce, drink himself insensible, and then, railing at fate, pitch himself into the sea. Forget him. Legrand is wasting his time. Mr. Kreutzer just happens to be a perfect fit for the inspector's image of the Raven.
Athletic, cultured, moves among the rich and famous.
I'll eat his violin if he's the Raven or the murderer.
I have to be going, Lady Westmacott.
Yeah, I agree.
Constable.
I mean, Lady Westmacott is a good author for crime novels for a reason, right? Like, I don't think the guy is the murderer. I don't think so. He's too much of a...
Mr. Kreutzer clearly feels uneasy. But
I don't know how to put it. It's no nice way of me saying it, but he's too much of a coward. Like, the most that he would do is to, you know, like, kind of manipulate people rather than, like, outright kill them.
Captain de Conti seems old and tired. The price you pay for a life like his, I suppose. I'm sure Captain de Conti wouldn't mind a chat, but I don't think he can help me at the moment.
And he was happily drinking. You just have to kick him out of the bar. I think the only reason why the inspector never kicked Lady Westmacott out is because she's on a wheelchair.
Seems to have found an opportunity to do nothing.
Well, she's suntanning for one.
It's Mayors.
Hello, Mr.
Constable Zellner. Do you think it's appropriate to go sunbathing in a situation like this?
What situation?
A woman was murdered last night.
If refusing to sunbathe could bring the dead back to life, I'd go back to my cabin immediately.
Did you hear or see anything suspicious last night?
No, I didn't feel very well last night. I went to bed early.
So, you're feeling better this morning?
Thanks for asking.
I'm sure your parents are truly sorry that they can't be with you at this difficult time.
Maybe, but I'm not a little girl anymore. And thinking about my fiancé keeps me going.
You're engaged?
Yes, my boyfriend and I got engaged right before the trip. I want to surprise my parents, especially my dad.
I'm sure he'll be very surprised. But what will you do if your father doesn't agree to the engagement?
What choice does he have when he put me on this boat full of thieves and murderers in the first place?
Charming. Enjoy the sun, Miss Mayers. And
Do you not have a hairpin I could use? I need a hairpin.
Guilty, Constable? It's not working.
I just want to ask you for a hairpin. Relax. I need a wire somehow. Where can I get a wire, man?
did Edison have any idea what would become of his invention?
Well, it looks nice though. Okay. No, nothing here. Guess I have to talk to Oliver, who I've been avoiding. Great. Oh, Matt's here. Hello, Matt. Zellner has hallmarks of good MC. Dry wit, curiosity, and quantum pockets. Yes. Yes, he does. Magic pockets that could fit everything.
Ahem.
What do you want?
Inspector Legrand is questioning the first of the passengers in the saloon.
And?
It will be hours before he gets to the stowaway.
And?
We'll save time if I question him.
We'd also save time if you stopped asking me the same things over and over again.
This is the first time I asked you.
What time is it, by the way?
Got an appointment?
No, but I'm hungry.
Go and get yourself something. I'll mind the door in the meantime.
Ha. You could bring me something, though.
Sure.
So, what do you want to eat?
Oh, anything. An apple or something like that.
Leave it with me.
Yeah, thanks.
Alright, and hello, Matt. I'm glad you're having fun.
Matt is keeping himself busy with that strange game. He seems to be okay again, but I think he'd be running around all over the place if he'd really come to terms with what happened on the train.
He's probably still, like, scared and traumatized.
Hello there, partner.
Hey, Matt.
Hi.
Are you all right?
Uh-huh.
Have you recovered from our adventure?
Mm-hmm.
I finally get to see you.
Hmm?
What's going on?
What do you mean?
Everybody's acting so strange, and there's tape across that door. I saw that in a movie once.
You don't have to be worried.
Is it about the man from the train?
No,
Be about.
I don't think so.
You caught him yet?
I'm working on it.
Okay.
Like, I personally don't think it's the same person. I don't
I
think.
heard you and your mom used to argue a lot.
We did. Everything was bad. The house, school, the other kids. We didn't have much money, and I was always alone.
You do know that your mother would love to have been with you, don't you? She had to go out to work to earn money.
She wouldn't have had to, if Dad were still around.
And
What really happened to his dad? I don't know. I don't remember this part.
I'm always happy when we do something together on vacation. She has more time for me now, and I like my boarding school. I have lots of friends, and the teachers aren't so bad.
your mother and Professor Lucien seem to be on very good terms with each other. Don't you like him?
Don't know.
He seems to be very nice.
I guess.
I was wondering where they disappeared off to.
Westmacott is all by herself in the saloon. Maybe you'd like to visit her later.
Sure, the lady tells exciting stories.
I know. She's my favorite writer.
She told me that it's not much fun to write detective novels. She'd rather write something else, but her fans always want the same thing.
They made her rich.
I mean, she seems to be very excited about this mystery, though.
Someone will buy
Just
it.
saying.
And if not, at least she had fun writing it. Then she smiled and nodded. She said it was a good idea.
What are you playing there?
I'm playing shuffleboard.
She's excited to be a part of the mystery, at least.
Never played it before.
It's easy. Professor Lucien explained it to me.
And who won?
We didn't play.
You didn't want to play with him, did you? Do you want to play a game with me?
Sure.
I think you'll have to explain the rules to me first.
Okay, you play with the blue pucks and I play with the red ones. You have to push the pucks with this stick into the zone over there and score as many points as possible.
Sounds easy. How many pucks do I have?
6. Now here comes the kicker. First it's your turn, then mine, and so on. But everyone is allowed to shoot the other person's pucks out of the zone.
All right, let's play a game.
Started.
Oh yeah, what are we playing for?
I thought we'd just play for fun.
That's boring. We have to bet something. Otherwise it isn't fun.
You English people.
So I'll bet my brand new slingshot. And you?
I don't want to gamble.
How about ice cream in Cairo?
Okay,
Okay, that I can do.
I get the slingshot. If I lose, I get an ice cream in Cairo.
Hey! Never try to cheat Matt Miller. So, what do you say? Ice cream versus slingshot?
All right. Let the games begin.
Well, that works, yeah. Okay, I need to defeat him. Ah, damn it. Too strong of a puck. You got 10 points already. Oh shit, I'm bad at this. I got 5 points at least. Damn it. I'm gonna knock you out. Hey, 11! Ah, shit. Ah, I'm very bad at this. I imagine I need a slingshot for something, though. He's very good. I'm very bad. Damn!
Haha, I win. That's one ice cream for me.
You've been practicing.
One more time!
I'll win.
Nah, I doubt that.
I need that slingshot, I imagine. Ah, shit, too much. It's fine, only 1 point. He only gets 1 point. Ah, damn it! I'm very bad at this. Can I knock the 2 of his pucks out? I only get 18. Yeah, it's hard to knock his one out when it's, yeah. I'll try and get a higher score. Damn!
I win again. That's another ice cream.
I'm gonna he's gonna get a lot of ice cream.
This time, I'll win.
Nah, I doubt that.
He's cheating. I'm sure he's cheating. Ah, shit. Thanks for the hit, I guess. Not that I'm getting any points from it, though. Why do I keep getting out of the thing? Oh my god. How about this? I give you potential diabetes. What ice cream can eat for your slingshot. That also works. I'm not very good at this.
I win again. That's another ice cream.
He's gonna get a lot of ice cream.
I'll win.
Nah, I doubt that.
He somehow always managed to cheat. Stones won! He cheated!
Again, that's another.
This
He's so cheated! You see, I don't know how he does it. Like, every time I try, it doesn't work. But he can always get the high scores. So fucking cheating. Yes!
That's it.
Oh, man.
Yes!
It wins the day.
One more time.
No, that's enough for me.
All right.
Slingshot, come on.
Here.
Are you sure?
Gambling debts are debts of honor.
Thank you.
I'll give it back to you when I don't need it anymore, okay?
Okay. But make sure my mom doesn't catch you with it. She thinks it's dangerous.
It's just a slingshot. How dangerous is it? Okay, stones.
The little stones make perfect ammunition for the slingshot. Now I just need a suitable target.
Kid's a kid, but I like him. Yeah, he's fun. I like him. He's nice.
Miss Miller and the professor are talking intensely. She seems pretty relaxed, by her standards. Miss Miller and the Good morning, Miss Miller. Professor Lucien?
Constable Zellner, how are you? I heard you passed out last night.
Well, not quite. I was poisoned.
Oh.
That wretch.
Who do you mean by that wretch?
That stowaway. That new Raven.
It's not the Raven.
Murderer. Constable Oliver had already apprehended him when the shot was fired.
You mean?
Whoever killed the Baroness is still on the loose.
I think I should take my leave. I'd like to rest for a while.
Yeah, just don't mind the glitches in the game. It's old, okay? It's old.
Do you think the eye is well protected?
Kids in point and clicks tends to be portrayed as annoying, but Matt is okay in my books. Yeah, he's not very annoying.
Heavy machine.
Maybe in the beginning a little bit, but he's actually a really nice kid. Lonely a little bit, but quite nice. Not terrible.
I understand.
I want to go back to my.
He's like a usual kid. He's not like purposely made to be annoying or anything, which is nice. I like Malka and Momo since Siberia as well. Yeah, Momo is great. I didn't play a lot of Siberia. I only played the first one.
I didn't interrupt your conversation.
Momo is nice. And do you know that there's going to be a remaster of Siberia?
Learning that there's still a burglar on board.
I'm looking forward to that because it looks really good.
So relaxed the whole time, and then
Malka's in 2. Ah, okay. I didn't play that one.
Swiss constable came by.
I actually do own it.
Oh,
But I haven't played it yet. Maybe I'll play it
I'm sure he'll
after Siberia, the remastered come out. Right? I'll play the new one and then the second one.
Of course.
Probably.
How is Matt? He seems happy enough.
After all the commotion, he's already back to his old self again. But I haven't told him about the murder. That would be a bit too much for him.
I think he's made of sterner stuff.
I want to thank you again for what you did on the train. I wouldn't have known.
Everything's fine.
Why are you looking up, Zellner? There's nothing in the sky.
How was
except the clouds.
It was awful. I was having a conversation with Edgar, Professor Lucien. here on the forecastle. Then I wanted to look for the lady and went forward via the side deck. When I passed the Baroness's cabin, I heard a muffled scream.
You heard a scream?
Yes. I thought the Baroness probably had a fall. I went to the door and listened for a moment. Since I couldn't hear anything, I knocked on the door and asked whether she was all right. There was no answer.
Interesting. And then?
I didn't know what to do, so I tried to open the door. It was locked.
Of course it was locked. Why would it not be locked?
I thought he might have the key and went back. On the way, the Bobby crossed my path, and then Edgar, who wanted to check the safe. I explained the situation to him, and then the alarm went off.
How did the scream sound?
It was a short outcry, very frightened, as if someone had been startled.
Was it a woman's voice?
Yes, the voice was high.
So it...
Most of the new games I'm excited for lately are remakes or remasters of old favorites. I'm getting old.
That person might...
Nah, it's a nostalgia thing. You know, I imagine anyone who have their like childhood game remade would be happy about it, right?
Oh, please stop it, Mr. Zellner.
Like, I don't like Siberia all that much, I gotta be honest. Because as you could probably tell from the games I've played, even the point and clicks, that I like more action in my games. Murder mystery, supernatural, it's gotta be like some more action. And Siberia, it's slower. I'm not a much fan of like slow paced games, to be honest, because I lose interest in it very fast. The closest thing I could describe to is because I kind of have like an ADHD like brain where my attention span is pretty short. So if you want to capture my attention span, especially when it comes to games, you gotta have a very interesting story. A lot of shit happening, you know. It can be slow in the beginning, but there has to be more action. And Siberia, I can watch other people play it, but when I play it, it's like too slow for me. I'm fine when other people play it, it's just when I play it. But the new one looks really good that I'm willing to try it again. Because maybe they improved on stuff, you know? You never know. Because I don't really know much about the remaster. I don't know if they're changing up the story or is it just the enhanced graphics thing. It's power of nostalgia, especially like something as a kid. Like we have games from the early 2000s, which were my college years, but I only started being a hardcore gamer at that time. Changed the gameplay to... Oh! I'm hoping they don't change the gameplay too much that I can't play it, because I know in Siberia the World before, I couldn't play that one, even though people say it was really good compared to like Siberia 2 and 3. But I couldn't play it because motion sickness, even though it is technically classified as point and click. So I wishlisted the remaster, but I gotta wait for a bit before and see. But it did look pretty good. It did look pretty good. I might just, you know, pull through, I guess. I could try and play it windowed and see if that works.
The Baroness's
but yeah, about like
on the
remaster games, they're speculating that they're going to remake Broken Sword 2 as well.
On the forecastle the whole time?
It hasn't been like announced or anything,
Later, he was on the
but
deck with us.
there was a photo, or like rather a sketch of George when they released like artwork and the trailer and stuff for Broken Sword 1, the Reforged.
But where else could he have...
There was a picture of like George wearing an outfit that's from the second game. So I'm assuming after Broken Sword 6 comes out, they will release Broken Sword 2 Remaster. Which, if they do, I'll be very excited to play that. Honestly, because you all know how much I love Broken Sword games.
Did you
Hands down, one of my favorites.
Yes, last night.
Planescape, Planescape, Torment, and original Fallout. Adult me. How the heck did I get married? I managed to get through the... What are those games? I gotta look it up. Give me a sec.
Constable Zellner?
I don't know yet.
It's horrible. Explosions, thieves, murderers. This isn't the right place for a lady and a little boy.
Oh, it's a dungeon kind of game. Okay. I've never really
Lucien.
played RPGs like that.
A lively conversation.
CRPGs at the past, definitely not meant for kids.
He's an excellent
Well, kids back then,
and preeminent.
they were pretty crazy.
Research. He's the head
Just
of
saying.
the Egyptian department in the British Museum, you know, and he's going to open an exhibition at the Egyptian Museum in Cairo.
Right. For the eye.
She definitely really likes the professor.
Jewels together for
I'm just saying.
decades, but that's not going to happen now, sadly. I think it's quite upsetting for him.
We're working hard to ensure that at least one eye will be on display.
I know. I'll ask Lady Westmacott.
Don't have the patience or time for a lot of things I played as a kid. Really? I still like the games I like playing as a kid. Honestly.
Offer you a private.
Because the games I played as a kid was like Carmen Sandiego, Scooby-Doo. Pretty much like all like point and clicks. And then of course there's Humongous games. Although I never played Putt-Putt. I played the rest of the Humongous games, but not Putt-Putt. Probably because I was not into cars. So Putt-Putt being a car just didn't appeal to me like Spy Fox or Pajama Sam and Freddy Fish. I don't play Putt-Putt, but I played a lot of those games growing up. It was very fun. I still go back to play it and it's still fun.
You're American, aren't you?
I mean, it's easy for me now as an adult, but still fun.
Of the job?
I lived in England.
And I also replay a lot of my games, like, as a kid. Like, my favorite games, I replay it constantly.
In a pharmacy. Interesting.
Playing a 60-plus hour game as an adult. Yeah, that is true. It is difficult as an adult when you have to work. You don't have much time as compared to when you're a kid, right?
Went back to the States together.
Because when you're a kid, you still have school holidays and stuff, where you, after you're done with your like holiday homework, you can just play games all day. But you don't actually have any work holidays.
Well,
not as much as we did as a kid, which is sad. Because definitely not much time to play a game as compared to when you're a kid.
Couldn't have been easy.
It was pretty tough.
So I think that's why I stream so much now.
And it was still only enough for the Baroness.
Even on a Thursday, it was becoming a norm for me to stream on Thursday.
And then,
even if I could only stream for like 2 hours at most,
it was like an angel. She must have
tend to play them.
Pity. I had no experience.
You know, just to get some game time in.
Generous offer. I couldn't believe it. And she really.
And I played some older games, but some of them aged poorly. Also, energy. Yeah, that's true.
Every opportunity.
I don't have the energy I did as a kid.
Unbelievable story.
I'm still afraid that it's a dream and that I'll wake up one day.
Yeah, I know, right? Even if you're working like in an office job, for example, and you're sitting there all day, you think that you'll not be tired, right? But you still are. Like, just being at work, even when it's like a slow day with nothing going on, somehow or rather, just being there physically drains you. At least for me. Like, it's not like I hate my job. And the people I work with now are pretty nice compared to my old workplace. But still, though, something about work, you know, it just drains your energy so much. And I remember as a kid, I had time to stay up late. I could stay up 24 hours and still have the energy. I could play games all night, you know, and I remember back when I was really into Facebook roleplays. I don't know if you guys remember that. Facebook roleplays were huge back in the day. I had like, at one point at my peak, I had over 20 accounts in different Facebook roleplays. All of them I was very active in. And now as an adult, I had no idea how I managed to be active in every single one of them. And just managed, you know, and just, I don't know how I do it. Not anymore.
How does it feel?
I don't know how I do it back then. Honestly, I don't.
The work is very interesting and varied, and it pays well too.
Yes, roleplays. So I'm an introvert in a public service job on top of it, so my social energy is just non-existent at the end of the day. I understand. I kind of understand.
Expectations.
I don't have a public service job. I have an IT job.
Lady Westmacott couldn't ask
but
for a companion.
While I don't
saving up as much money
see people,
I'd do anything so that Matt doesn't have to.
Well, okay. Let me change that. It's school holidays now over here in Singapore, so not many people are in school, but during the school terms, there's just so many people popping in, even for little simple stuff. It's like, not that the job's hard, you know, it's really easy things like that I'm used to doing by now, but still, because I'm an introvert, right, dealing with the people, even if it's just for a couple minutes, it's exhausting. Like I said, it's not difficult. My company sucks. But the place I'm working at, which, two different things. I'm deployed to a specific locations, a school. But so I don't really work at the company physically. And people at my current location is pretty nice. So most of them, I don't mind working at my job. I don't love it. I can't say I love my job, but I don't hate it. I don't dread it like I did with my previous workplace, you know? But still, because I'm introvert and having to deal with, like, say, students or anyone coming in with, like, an IT issue, it's tiring. Even if it's just for a couple minutes, just seeing people.
Dropped a hint on the train.
Just having to deal with them is exhausting for me. It's like, it drains me so much.
Oh,
so I look forward to the weekends now
takes it with her. It's
because
an unpublished
I get to
question. I
game,
once
I get
asked
to
her
hang
why
out with
she
you
was
guys,
She said that according to her will, the
as
novels
compared
only
to
be published
having to work, right? So I have a long weekend, you know, this weekend.
I've never
If
read
you don't already know, I took
You'd better
some time off. I'm clearing my leaves next week. So Monday's a public holiday. I'm on leave on Tuesday and Wednesday too, so I'll be streaming a lot.
If you worked in a pharmacy,
in fact, from what I think about, the only time I'm not streaming next week is Wednesday.
Depends on the dose.
Especially since now I stream on Thursdays too, so I'm gonna stream a lot.
I'm asking you.
Lady Westmacott,
like a lot for the upcoming couple of days, so you guys don't have to worry about that.
I've never wanted to kill anyone. I never bothered with things like strychnine and arsenic and all that. I could recommend something for a headache, a sore throat, or a rash.
That's kind of you, but there's really no need. I'll be seeing you, Miss Miller.
Constable?
She's still like nodding and as if talking to Lucian, who's not there anymore. But this is an old game, okay? This is minor stuff. Just ignore that. Work one weekend a month, except for June, when I worked 2 in a row because of summer reading. Oh, yeah, that's bad. Nowadays, as an adult, I try to look for jobs that where I don't have to work on the weekends, because I want to rest and spend time with my family on the weekend. Like, even if it's just being at home, I just want to just stay and not have to worry about working, because especially as an adult, when you work on the weekends, like everyone else work on the weekdays, right? And you don't get to see them. It was just for dinner or something again. Because when we exist in the library world, unfortunately, people want us open 24/7. Oh yeah, that is true. I tried applying for a library job actually, because to me, it would have been the best job for me. It's quiet. And if the boss is not strict enough, I can just have one earphone in, listen to some music, put books back or something. That would be the best job for me. I don't have to deal with like too many people. At least if it's like the librarian job, I guess. But do you know, if you want to work in librarian, at least in Singapore, I don't know about other countries, okay? But you need like a degree or a diploma or whatever to work as a librarian, which I don't understand why. Like, it's like an admin job. I could do it if you just train me. Like, why do you need a diploma or whatever to work as a librarian? Like, I've done it before as a kid, like in my primary school, which would be elementary school for some of you guys. I was a librarian. I like the job. Like, I don't have to deal with too many people. The most I have to do with people is like them borrowing books. And nowadays, you can do that, like they can do that themselves, right? It's like, they can borrow the books themselves. You don't even need to approach the librarian anymore and have them like physically scan the book or anything. You can do it yourself. They have counters for that. And even like returning books, they don't need to even talk to the librarian. They could just do it themselves. They don't have to interact with the librarian at all. You know, you can search for anything in the computer or whatever. Everything's digital now. So I don't understand why. Yeah, like it's not necessary, right, to have a degree or anything. It's easy. You just, I mean, so long as you're okay with routine, you know, and being organized and putting book back, what's so difficult about being a librarian? I mean, of course, if you're in IT at the library, that's different. But if you're a librarian, you know, apart from learning like the system that they use for the loaning and everything, the most you need to do is put books back to where they belong, right? That's not too difficult. I don't mind that. I don't have to talk to anyone. I'm cool with that. There's self-check machines, yeah, but they like to add up so that that stuff has to help people with them, which I don't mind because it's not really customer service in a sense that you're trying to sell people stuff. And the thing, I think it's because I work in IT, right? And the amount of people that I deal with that you think should have common sense when it comes to technology doesn't even matter if it's a teenager or an adult. You think that they know, right? Common sense, right? But they don't. And sometimes they ask you questions that are like rather dumb. But the worst part is when the person doesn't listen to you explain yourself to them, which is the most annoying part. Like, if you don't know something, and I understand not a lot of people, not everyone is like me and you, where we love playing games and spend our entire time on the freaking computer, so we know everything about computers for the most part, you know. So I know there's some people who have other hobbies, so I don't okay with people asking me questions. I am not really okay when you try to explain something to them and they're so set in their ways that they don't listen to you. Especially the ones where they don't know anything, but they think they know, so they don't listen. They just don't understand. Like, you try to explain things to them and they're like, they just don't get it. People come up to the desk and say, I'm computer illiterate, and they want me to do things for them on a computer. That's fine. I don't mind helping people out. The problem is when they don't know, but they think that they know. Like, I don't mind someone who's like, hey, I'm computer illiterate, I don't know shit, help me out. That's fine, because they know that they don't know anything. But there are people who are like, they think they know, but they don't. So when you try to explain how things work to them, even in like plain simple terms so that they can understand, they don't really listen to you. Like, they don't advise you. And the problem I have at my current workplace is because of how things worked before with the previous employees, I think, and the system, they are so fucking entitled. Like, there are certain things that they can do themselves, and I would show them how to do themselves, or it could be even part of their job and they should do it themselves, but they expect you to do it for them. And it's very fucking annoying when that happens. I really don't like it. Makes me want to curse, but I can't. So I can only endure.
What means, Mr. Zellner?
Did Miss Miller cope with all the excitement?
I think so.
You know, it's that's the worst part of the job, dealing with that.
To go on if something happened to Matthew.
She's worried about him.
You know, those people.
It breaks her heart.
There are nice people that you work with. There are people who might be illiterate when it comes to technology, and I'm okay with that. But the people that think that they know and the people there act so entitled. Like, do your own fucking job. Have you got no hands? Like, the worst one is that someone would say to me, there's no power. I can't turn on my computer. Do you know what the problem is? The problem is they didn't turn on the power socket. And the power socket is right at their feet. So all the person had to do is to bend down, turn the power socket on. That's all they need to do. And this is a healthy person. Okay, they might be like super young, but at most they'll be in their 40s, right? They're like healthy. Okay, they're able. But yeah, these people, some of them, they won't do it themselves. The power socket's like right at their feet. They would call me or my coworker from right across the room, all the way at the other end, right? And be like, hey, there's no power. And the way they say it, I'm saying it in a nice way already, but the way they say it, the tone, makes me feel like they're talking to their servant or something. In fact, you shouldn't even talk to your servant that way, you know? But the way they order you around, expecting you to just do this, like, you got hands, lady. Like, you could do it yourself. Why do you need me to do it? Like, yes, I'm the IT person, but are you disabled or something? Because if you're disabled, I would do it for you. No questions asked. Okay, I'll be happy to help you out if you need it. But if you're completely able and healthy and you can do shit for yourself, why are you expecting me to do simple things for you? That's the annoying part of the job.
Run off.
Luckily, not everyone is like that, I guess.
More and more
so,
to reach setback.
It's still fine.
It's better for both of them this way.
He left her.
But it is tiring.
She loved him.
It is draining.
Stick by him. She fell out.
You think it's not, since you deal with computers most of the time, right? But it is.
The ground opened up.
So I need to relax with gaming and stuff.
She was as good as dead. If she didn't have Matthew, she'd be dead.
You seem to know a lot about it. I mean, about the time before Miss Miller began work.
Sorry for going on a tangent there.
And Matthew.
I had to do it. Work, man, and sometimes it's just shit.
Other employees?
This is why I like games. I can escape into a false reality.
To do better with others, Constable.
A fantasy, so to speak. Like, solving mysteries is so much better. Although, probably can't do it in real life. Like, in the mystery game, I have the power to save and the power of second chances. If I was a detective in real life, I would die so fast.
His mother for the fact
I'm just saying.
He wasn't around anymore. I was afraid the situation
I'll be like,
would escalate if he had to live on a country estate.
I want to say Tino Barducci, but I'm not that, like, arrogant or prideful.
He quickly made.
But I'll be that idiot. Okay, I cannot. Not in real life. I need the power of hints. And of course you guys to help me out. Like, I cannot do it alone. I'm not really cut out to be a detective in real life, unfortunately.
You told me that you have a valuable manuscript with you.
That is correct.
An unpublished Part 2 novel. The manuscript must be worth a fortune.
Part 2!
It's not just any Part 2 novel. I wrote it 20 years ago. But it will only be published after my death. It's Part 2's last case. Maurice Part 2 dies.
You're going to kill him off?
I already have. And I enjoyed it.
Madam.
I was so sick of writing one Part 2 novel.
And this is also a real thing with
in his guts.
Poirot.
So, 20 years ago, I did, of course. I didn't want to disappoint my fans, so I let him solve case after case. But at least I was certain that he'd never escape me, that in the end, I would get him.
I understand. Let's just hope that this novel remains unpublished for many more years. I have to be going, Lady Westmacott.
Well, unfortunately for you, Lady Westmacott, I believe that even after you die, your character Part 2 will be very famous. Because your counterpart, Agatha Christie, despite the fact that she has wrote Poirot's death like you did, Poirot has lived on for many, many, many years to come. In fact, Zellner is inspired by Poirot. Which, correct me if I'm wrong, because I remember it was the daughter that published Poirot's novel where he died. Like, Agatha Christie did not do it while she was alive, from what I remembered. I might be wrong though, so don't quote me. Had someone tell me I'll be a good detective from life because I figured out who stole the newspapers from our library. Dang! That's some good detective work. Actually, you can be a good detective. But I feel like I'm also too much of a coward to do it in real life, I think. Like, it's kind of dangerous, depending on the kind of cases you take. I cannot do it. And too much of a scaredy cat. I value my life too much. I'm only reckless in games, okay?
Miss Mayers doesn't really seem to be much...
And that's also because of you guys.
She's probably too...
You guys sometimes make decisions for me.
Fiancé.
The reckless decisions. And sometimes the right decision. You know, so I have you guys to enjoy adventures with, which I'm really happy about. But yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I like this game. The references to Agatha Christie is great. How do I get the sample from here? How do I cut it out?
Some of the down feathers I found in the vase are singed.
And I need wires. Who the freak have wires? Where do I find wires? There's nothing down there, do I? Not really. Can I hit? No, nothing here. I'll probably be ending this stream soon, actually. I'm kind of tired because it is after work day. But as y'all know, I'll be streaming a lot for this weekend. For the upcoming couple days, actually. Pretty much, so. My brain's not really working, so I don't know what I'm supposed to do anyways at this point.
I better let the men do their work. If one of them had detected something yesterday...
Wouldn't be a bad place to end. Yeah, it's a nice place to end. Which reminds me, I need to save, so I think that would be good to end too. Let me save before I forget. I got a lot of save files. Just... yeah, okay. This is not a bad place to end. Honestly, I'm a bit tired. I don't even think I have the energy to work out. I'm just gonna chill. Gonna grab something to eat and then chill for the rest of the night. Yeah, that's probably what I'll do. But yeah, thank y'all so much for watching. Thank you everyone for being here. For those of you watching on YouTube, I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care.